While the Seattle Seahawks have finished up their off-season work, much has yet to be determined as far as the depth chart is concerned for the 2018 season. Free agency and the draft has put some clear positions battle into focus, which means the "always compete" mantra will flow through these upcoming position battles through organized team activities and into training camp. While the end of May will begin these battles, they likely won't be decided until the end of the preseason barring some big-time changes, so let's lay down some ground rules. While we did project some battles that haven't been explicitly stated, we didn't go crazy with it. These aren't projections into the future past 2018, so let's not pretend like they are. For instance, Shaquem Griffin is backing up KJ Wright, and despite Griffin being talented, he's unlikely to be given a real shot to start over the veteran Wright, and since Carroll didn't even talk about him playing Sam linebacker, we won't forecast a battle between him and Barkevious Mingo. Another battle to pass on will be the starting running back job. You don't draft a running back in the first round and label him a three-down back only to have him ride the pine for the majority of the snaps. There's still some running back situations to clean up and another battle involving Penny, but save us the "always compete" mantra at starter. We are buying the starting running back position is up for grabs as much as the Seahawks don't want a starting caliber backup at quarterback. Other than that, everything else is fair game. The Seahawks have a laundry list of battles to forecast that'll start to play out as OTAs begin on Monday. Here's how we see them going. Enjoy the fun and insanity that is Always Compete 2018 edition. Bon appetit. Favorite, Michael Dickson, one of the few camp battles with cap ramifications. The Seahawks could continue to employ veteran John Ryan and pay him $6.8 million over the next two seasons, or keep their 2018 fifth-round pick Michael Dickson and pay him $2.75 million over 4 years. Which will they choose? Cutting Ryan saves a total of $5 million in 2018 and 2019, so barring a total collapse by Dickson, the 2017 Texas Bowl MVP, and yes, you read that correctly, he'll earn the job. The Seahawks raved about his skills during their post-draft press conference and made him sound like a magician with the ball. Rookie minicamp only increased his legend. He was drop-kicking field goals from deep. Ryan will always have a special place in Seahawks fans' heart, but he's fighting the ultimate uphill battle considering he's the incumbent. Favorite, Deion Jordan. The Seahawks have one side of the defensive line all figured out, with Frank Clark assuming a starting role now that Cliff Avril and Michael Bennett are gone. But who'll man the side opposite of Clark? For the future, it may very well be the team's third-round pick Rasheem Green, who rushed quite a bit from the inside in college, like Bennett did for the Seahawks on third downs. Green is locked up for 4 years, while former first-round picks Deion Jordan and Marcus Smith are on one-year deals. But as for 2018, it feels like Jordan's spot to lose. He outperformed Smith on fewer snaps in 2017. Jordan had 4 sacks to Smith's 2.5 sacks. Another notch in Jordan's favor is his size and athleticism, which also mean he can move inside on third downs and allow for some extra pass rush to be added to the field. Smith and Green will have their roles in 2018, but Jordan could be a breakout star on the edge. Favorite, Byron Maxwell. With the Seahawks signing Byron Maxwell to a one-year deal worth just $1.8 million and little guaranteed money, it's no lock that Maxwell makes it out of training camp. Still, the turnover-creating cornerback showed in 2017 that he had plenty left in the tank and could be counted on for timely plays and aggressive defending, the Seahawks' bread and butter. With Dante Johnson, who the Seahawks signed away from the 49ers this offseason, also having a year of starting experience under his belt, expect Trey Flowers to get a redshirt year while he tries to transition from college safety to NFL cornerback. Like Green, Flowers may well be the future plan for now, but in 2018, Maxwell has first dibs with Johnson challenging for the throne. All three have the size they like. It'll come down to technique. Favorite, Chris Carson, the starter at running back, may be set. Don't tell Chris Carson and Mike Davis that, but his backup will have just as important a role. While Rashad Penny can do work between the tackles and can finish off runs with the best of them, he's best utilized as a home run hitter. That leaves Carson and Davis to fight for the role of change of pace back. Think of Carson and Davis as the Mark Ingram to Penny's Alvin Kamara. Although Ingram was viewed as the starter and received more snaps in New Orleans last season, we're talking about a style comparison. Both Carson and Davis have the running and catching ability to be a formidable complement to Penny. It'll likely come down to pass protection between these two. Carson excelled at it in 2017, which earned him the starting job to begin the season. If not for an injury ending his season in Week 3, he would have led the team in rushing, and Pete Carroll viewed him as the starter over Davis when it was thought these two would compete for the main job. It's a neck-and-neck race, but Carson's been a little better overall despite rushing for less yards last season. Favorite, no one last season, the Seahawks created a little mini battle between the initial gang by somewhat formulating a third down back roster spot. The Seahawks kept 4 running backs instead of 3, and CJ Prosise ended up winning the battle to be the third down back. But injuries continued to plague Prosise, and he essentially missed the majority of the 2017 season and made way for J.D. McKissick exploded in his first action versus the Colts with multiple touchdowns, but didn't keep his flair for big plays steady throughout the season. Now, the need for a third down back may be gone altogether, and they may not have a roster spot to obtain. With Penny, Carson and Davis all having solid hands, the Seahawks may keep a fourth running back for injury insurance who can do the same or use that spot elsewhere. If they use the spot at running back, Prosise is the more complete back, but McKissick is more reliable. It's a true toss-up here without knowing if Prosise can stay healthy. Favorite, Austin Davis, with the calamity that occurred this offseason, booting Trevone Boykin off the roster for a domestic violence allegation, Austin Davis finds himself tutoring and competing with a different young quarterback, 7th-round pick Alex McGough. McGough is said to be able to make all the throws and has some sneaky mobility much like Davis. However, Davis has a bit of an advantage, some corporate knowledge from working with new offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer in the past. The Seahawks may like McGough as the backup moving forward, but Davis has the slight edge in 2018. Briggs are going to rookie after all. Because Davis can help Russell Wilson in the film room with the new scheme, expect him to hang around this season for another year of understudy duties. Favorite, Sebastian Janikowski. Like the other kicker battle, this duel has cap ramifications, but with the favorite carrying the larger cap hit. Another difference is Janikowski is only under contract for a single season, so cutting him doesn't save you money in 2019, which at this point is most important. The Seahawks still have over $12 million for 2018. They're fine and don't need to save money on a kicker. If Janikowski truly is healthy after missing the entire 2018 season with a back injury, he'll win this job. He's got the stronger leg and has even been more accurate at his peak. It's all a matter of health. Myers may not even make it out of OTAs. Favorite, Jermaine Ifedi not on the radar now because the Seahawks keep insisting that Jermaine Ifedi is their right tackle and George Fant is a left tackle, but sooner or later, these two will compete for that right tackle job. The Seahawks drafted another left tackle in Jamarco Jones, who will sit behind All-Pro caliber starter Dwayne Brown. That frees up Fant to fight at right tackle or Jones if they want. The Seahawks were high on Fant in 2017 before he suffered a season-ending knee injury, so it doesn't seem like they'd just leave him to back up a position they have sure starter filling. I bet he wasn't good last season, mostly because he led the league in penalties with a mix of holding and false start infractions. Although Carroll insists the team still has faith in him at right tackle, pushing him with real competition like never before will likely be the play. Favorite, Tom Johnson. The Seahawks have one sure starter at defensive tackle with Jarran Reed, who they believe can elevate into one of their leaders in year 3. With Sheldon Richardson now in Minnesota, they'll need someone to put next to him. They signed Vikings starter Tom Johnson for that very reason, but don't count out Nazir Jones for this role either. A third-round pick in 2017, Jones was a standout before losing the back half of his season to injury. Some may remember he even intercepted the great Aaron Rodgers in his first game. Johnson is the better option at replacing Richardson's ability to pressure quarterbacks, but Jones' versatility in the run game and rushing the passer aren't to be underestimated. Johnson's just underrated enough at run defense to hold him off. But his one-year contract status may give the tie to Jones if it's close. Favorite, Rashad Penny. The Seahawks have already revealed they'll let first-round pick Rashad Penny compete to usurp All-Pro Tyler Lockett as the team's return man, and it's an interesting strategy. While Lockett elevates to the number 2 wide receiver and becomes a bit too valuable to let return kicks, with the Seahawks' depth at the position not what it used to be. Penny's just as valuable as the likely starting running back. It's hard to unseat an All-Pro, but Penny's dynamic and tough running style may pack just enough punch to do it, and again, Lockett's a lot more valuable as receiver this year than he's been in years past, with Jermaine Kearse and Paul Richardson both gone.